What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan. Today is Thursday. We're not here talking about sales like we normally do every couple of weeks. We're here to talk about talking shop. For those of you that are new to the content, head over to YouTube. I've got over 1,900 videos, maybe even 2,000 at this point, all talking about industrial sales, industrial marketing, bringing in cool guests like we've got today to talk about their experience in manufacturing. Follow me on LinkedIn. If you guys are watching this on replay on YouTube, head over to LinkedIn, hit me to follow. We post lots of content there every day with the main purpose, the main goal is to give you some sort of quality and skills and knowledge, everything we do here at MFG Tribe to help our clients dominate in their verticals. I'm all about transparency and giving people the skills and the tools that they need to help them out. So without further ado, we're going to bring in somebody that is very active on LinkedIn, has been doing this a long time. We've got Joni Cunningham coming in. What's up, Joni?
Hi, how are you? I'm good. Happy Thursday.
Yes, happy Thursday. Happy Halloween. We're
Yes.
trying to go with the Halloween theme with our lights here. First off, do you have any plans for Halloween?
I did, but I unloaded my kids on other families so that they can go with their friends the first time because now they're old enough that I don't have to be out there freezing to death. So
Okay. How many kids do you have?
I have three. My oldest son is 26, my daughter is 10, and then my youngest son is 9. So it's a pretty big age gap.
Yeah. But that's key is once they turn 9, you can start saying, yeah, go ahead, go off with your friends. That's when they start to be like, it's not cool to go with parents, right?
Well, I think I'm still in the, I'm going to maybe lie to myself a little bit here, where my kids still want to spend time with me in public,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got 5 kids of my own. So when we do Halloween, and my kids go from just under 2 up to 15 and a half. So I've even got it to where the older daughter, the oldest daughter, she still likes interacting with her younger siblings. So like her friends are going to come meet us up when we're going through the neighborhood later today because they think it's cool and fun hanging out with the little kids sometimes. So
yeah, well, if I had a younger sibling that was that much younger, it'd be a lot different than a younger sibling that was only just a couple of years difference, right? Where I'm like, this guy, just bring him back to the hospital. I didn't want him home, right?
That's how my daughters were when the first boy was born. They're like, I don't know about this. I don't know if we like this one. And you said it's cold, so where are you based out of?
Actually, it's the warmest. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it's just really blustery. I thought to myself as I was driving back from Traverse City today that it was a perfect Wizard of Oz day because everything's just blowing and it was very right? Like, get on my bike and run through the neighborhood. Get off my
lawn. Yeah, so here in Texas, we actually do have colder weather today. I think, Laura, what it's supposed to be like tonight? Yeah, so it's like going to be mid-60s tonight. So that's cold for here. It was 87, 88 yesterday.
Wow. So it's been unseasonably warm here the last couple of days. So, and this is the warmest in the 5 years that I've been in Grand Rapids. This is the warmest it's been. I mean, last year it was snowing, right?
Joni, if you can run through your background with the audience, what do you currently do? And how did you get into it?
So currently my role at Creston is, my role is marketing and sales coordinator, but really a lot of what I do is put the Advanced Manufacturing Expo together. I'm also sales support for our outside team, for our VP. I do and create all of our marketing in-house for Creston Industrial. I also manage 4 of our social media accounts, my own, 2 for Creston, and then 1 for our owner. So I'm really kind of in the role that I am now, almost a little jack of all trades. I have great relationships with our vendors, and a lot of times our VP and our owner aren't in the office. So I'm their first point of contact if there's an issue, or if they need to talk to somebody right away, or if they have to get a hold of somebody higher up, then I'm the one they call or reach out to initially. So I help to facilitate those types of conversations. So a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So Creston Industrial Sales, what are you guys selling?
So we sell industrial tooling to the manufacturing sector. Our strong suit is metalworking, so cutting tools. We also do MRO and PPE, and we do VMI cabinets. We do vendor managed inventory. We do a local delivery. So we are your one-stop shop for tooling, safety, spills. We really do a little all. I mean, we want to be the one that you're going to call if your shop has needs.
So on the tooling side, do you guys have what's the range of partners that you guys are selling for? Is it people like Kennametal and stuff like that?
So we have like Sandvik and Iscar and Whittia and I mean Gorilla Mill. We have access to just about everything. We have over I think 300 vendors across the scope, whether it be lubrications or whether it be uh, abrasives. So we cover the gamut. We have lots of options, right? And we prefer to give our customers the best option for their specific need, and not just we're going to sell you this because we get a kickback on it or there's a spiff on it that we're going to benefit. We are really focused on helping our customers be better, save money, and create long-term lasting relationships where we can rely on each other to be honest, right? And work together to make sure that manufacturing continues in the way that we know it today and improve it.
So when people are looking for, I mean, like the value proposition that you guys have there, people are looking for that one-stop shop to provide their manufacturing facility with all of the different tools. Do you guys have like 100 salespeople out there, 10 people that are in different
We have
regions?
7 people. We have
Okay.
7 people. And really, where Creston's value is, just like anything, you can go to Amazon and buy anything. You can buy
Yeah.
anything from anybody. But what really sets Creston apart is we have exceptional people. And of course, I'm biased because I work there. But through my entire career, I've never worked for a company where I can honestly say I truly like and care about everybody that works there. So it's a wonderful place to work. The owner is kind. He is, he cares about the people that work there, and that's something I haven't run into in any of the careers that I have chosen to pursue in the past. So it's a nice place to be.
Very cool. So is it 7 salespeople or 7 people total in the company just doing
7
everything?
salespeople. So
Okay.
we have about 40 people now. So
Okay.
it's a small business, and we've been around, and the same family has owned it for over 70 years. So,
Wow.
and as things grow and change, we're just kind of learning, right? After COVID, everybody's kind of learning how to redo what they do well, or maybe come past what people thought of us in the past and step outside of that. And this is who we are. There's new people there. We've grown tremendously. I wouldn't say that we've necessarily changed our business model, but we've just gotten better with time. And even in the 5 years that I've been there, I feel that every year we get a little bit better at what we do, and our relationships just continue to get stronger.
So walk me through the stats. You've got over 300 vendors. How big is your facility? Where are you distributing from? Is it all in one location? Is it more drop shipping?
So I'm not exactly sure how big our warehouse is, and what we do is we will stock like standard stuff, like paper products for customers where you could just stop by and pick it up, and like maybe standard drills and taps. And we will also stock for larger customers. If you need us to stock, we have the warehouse space for that. We are based in Grand Rapids, and we go all the way up to the UP, and now we're in northern Indiana. And then we're not on the east side of the state at this time, but of course, everybody's looking to grow. It's just we want to make sure that we are in the places, doing well in the places that we're currently working before we work to expand.
So you guys are trying to really focus on that local, like state of
That's
Michigan, a little bit southern, and then maybe eventually expand out from that. But that's where you guys are trying to make your name
correct.
as the
I
best
The
there.
thing is that what sets us apart from our larger competitors is we live and work in the same places that you do. We're not coming from our guys aren't covering 5 states. So if you call us, we're going to be there. It's not, okay, well, let me check my calendar. I'll be there in 2 weeks, right? We're the guys that you call when you need help now.
That's awesome. So how long have you been there and how did you get started? Because I feel like this, regardless of backgrounds, that's what I love about manufacturing and industrial is that people come from like all different areas. And it seems like the older generation, which I would say that you and I are in compared to these kids
Yes.
these days, it's like people that have been in it in our situations, it's like you got in it and then you never left. You just stuck with that industry. Maybe not the same company, but you stuck with that industry for a long period of time. So how did you first get into the manufacturing side?
So I moved here from Seattle. I had been living in Seattle for 16 years before moving here. And in Seattle, manufacturing really isn't a thing. It's tech or, manufacturing is Boeing there, right? There's a huge Boeing facility, but there's not really a lot of manufacturing jobs, or that at least I wasn't aware of. I wasn't really aware of manufacturing until Creston. And I had been staying home with my kids for 5 years, and I worked at the gym just to kind of give me something to do. And then just before COVID hit, I was like, I just need to do something more, right? Like I'm bored, I can only talk to toddlers for so many years in a row, where I start feeling crazy. So actually, Creston is the only one that took a chance on me after being a stay-at-home mom for 5 years, because it seemed like when I was looking for a job, even though I had 30 years of experience, nobody wanted to touch me because I hadn't been working for 5 years. So they took a chance on me, and I didn't know anything about manufacturing, but I liked the people. And for me, that kind of really just, that's the biggest thing, right? If I'm going to move to a company, I need to meet the people. It's not just going to be sight unseen, because I'm going to have a feel whether or not I'm going to mesh, right? So it was a good feeling, and they hired me on the spot. And it's been a great experience for me as far as learning this industry, learning marketing, because I don't have a marketing background. And I really love the people in this field. I really do. They're so down to earth, salt to the earth, just let's not beat around the bush and let's just get to it. And that's my kind of people. And there's so many of them in this industry. And I love getting into shops and seeing, cool stuff that I've never seen before, that most people don't have. The ability to see these big machines and the older ones that still have hand cranks. It's just, I think it's cool, right? Like if you like mechanical stuff, this is the field you should be in.
Yeah, that's where I think you hit the nail on the head by saying that like this industry of manufacturing, it is generally people are just like, let's just get down, roll up our sleeves, and do work, and it's direct to the point,
Yeah.
no fluff, not
Yeah.
worrying about any sort of BS that happens in the office. It's just like we're here to all do a job and row this boat in the same direction. I got into it 24 years ago, fresh out of high school, and I haven't turned back since. And I grew up around it, and it's just that's exactly what it is. And I'm glad that they took a chance on you, and that's something that I strongly believe in is it's less about somebody's what they look like on paper. It's more about the person and the culture of how they fit with your culture and can they do the job at the core of what you're going to ask them to do or willing to learn how to do it. I'll take a person like that 6 days a week and twice on Sunday over somebody that comes in with tons of experience. If they don't fit that culture, it's not ever going to work out.
I absolutely agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Is that, these things can be taught, but the personality itself, that is what it is, right? And sometimes it's just not a win.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think is something that what do you think in your experience there has been something that's changed from when you first started to where you're at today, whether it's in the industry or the way that things operate? What's like a big thing that you've seen change?
So, the biggest thing that I've seen change since I have been in this role is the Advanced Manufacturing Expo. The first year that I was involved, it was me and one other woman there, and there were no kids. Now there's women everywhere and tons of kids, and people are excited about it. My kids every year, they're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, right? Having people get excited about something I knew nothing about 5 years ago to now, where there's all of these sorry, women and kids excited about coming to the show. And then they're telling people, and, I take pride in the fact that there's so many women that come now, and there are so many women that are open to listening to possible careers in manufacturing. Like I was at a customer today, and there were two women machinists. I was like, "High five, girl! Good job!" I was excited to see it because when I first got here, I had maybe gone into one shop and there was one woman, right? And it's nice to see the change, and especially in such a short period of time. 5 years isn't a lot of time to make change. But if we're going to be honest about where we're at in manufacturing, we need to kick it in the gear. It needs to happen fast. We don't have 20 years to sit and wait and hope change happens. We need to press on the gas and make it happen and force the change and get people involved however we can. What's going to tickle their fancy for them to notice? That's what we're going to do. And that's what Creston has been doing to help the Advanced Manufacturing Expo grow and getting fresh meat in there, if you will, fresh meat.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great key takeaway. We were going through our planning a week ago, post FabTech, and I was looking at shows that I feel like we want to either exhibit at or walk. And I actually added the Advanced Manufacturing Expo to it for next year. Even though it's a smaller show, it's still focused. A lot of good people are there. There's a lot of good technology to learn. And for us to send some people there just to learn, experience it, etc., I think it would be a great opportunity to do it at that scale.
I absolutely agree. And the feedback that I've gotten, so our show has tripled in size in the last 4 years. So it's
That's great.
gaining momentum, right?
Yeah.
But what I've heard, especially last year, that the leads were awesome. That people are getting they're really getting your ROI. You're not spending a lot of money to exhibit at the show. It's about $2,000. So it's not a lot of money. It's just time. But if you want to connect with your customer base in this market, this is the show to do it. They are there. They're looking for solutions. They're looking for your expertise. They're looking to buy machines. They're looking to buy fluids. They're looking. So if you are seeking customers in this area, the Advanced Manufacturing Expo is a must stop at, right? I mean, if you want to sell in this market, you got to come. So to everybody out there who's interested in coming, let me know. I know a girl.
Yeah, you know somebody, and that shows when is that? August, I think.
It's in August.
Time
It's
frame.
usually the
Yeah.
first Wednesday and Thursday in August. And I
Okay.
really expect this show to be much larger than last year because every other year that there's IMTS, we lose some of our CNC companies because they're spending their money at IMTS, which is obviously a larger show. But
Yeah.
this year, I hope it to be much larger, and we expect to have 3,000 to 5,000 people. Sorry, my cat just fell off the desk.
No, you're fine. So for anybody watching, if you guys want to go to Michigan, I mean, and a great time to do it in August. I mean,
It's
I feel like
beautiful.
anytime's cool to visit
Yeah,
Michigan, but definitely in August before school starts up, right? Go to the show, exhibit at it, have conversation with people, and see if you can get some business from it. And you're
yeah,
supporting somebody locally too, right? And that's what
absolutely.
everybody should be about. Like it's all about helping people and sharing experiences and seeing that what ways you guys can build bricks on top of each other, right?
Agreed.
So we know your biggest change that you've seen. What's your biggest challenge been, um, whether it's at the company, in the industry, or anything else over the last like 5 years or so?
You want me to be honest or
Yeah, yeah, straight up, no fluff. I
respect?
mean, it
Re-
could be. I would assume people not taking you seriously because you're a girl in
yeah,
manufacturing, right? They do the same thing to the younger kids. Like, what do you know? We had somebody do it to my sales guy who's 30 uh,
Yeah.
on a discovery call last week. They're like, "You're a little young. What do you actually know?" So yeah, hit me with it.
So I find it's a lack of respect. One, because I look a lot younger than I actually am. So it's really hard to kind of tell people, listen, I'm 50. I'm not 25. I have experience in multiple fields across, years and years of high level, high paced. So what I'm really in tune to is people. And it really doesn't matter what field I'm in. My specialty is people. And then I find it frustrating if I'm not listened to or valued or just kind of dismissed, that maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And because I don't have a long experience in this field, I feel that sometimes they're like, oh, okay, that's cute, right? But if you just kind of pay attention, if you're not changing, you're dying. And if you're not willing to listen to new opinions, even if it doesn't match the one that maybe you want to hear, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take a chance to see if it might work. I mean, failure is part of the process, and you're never going to get to succeed if you don't fail first, right? Because that's our learning lesson. So it's just sometimes it's a lack of respect, and also that lack of respect, that's why I work to bring so many women in, as I feel that I'm not the only one that's experienced this in this field. And I can say it absolutely is changing, right? I see it. I saw it in the shop that I was in today, and the way that the women machinists were respected and the guys were happy to show them and pass on their knowledge. That's what it should be. I'm a kind of girl that likes to get dirty. There's lots of girls out there that want to play in the dirt and see cool cars and fix stuff, right? So, be willing to share your knowledge and listen to the knowledge that we may have that you don't.
Yeah, that's a great point. I feel like that's a common thing with women, younger people, or people from not within the industry. That's just maybe in 30 years it'll be different, but unfortunately for the past at least 25 I've been in it, it's just a generational thing, right?
I
It's
agree.
traditionally been like this. If you don't know somebody or work at a place that, like some owners will be like, well, if you don't work at one of these places, then you don't know anything. I used to deal with
Yeah,
that when I was a kid, and so yeah, in 30 years it'll probably be different, but for right now, it's just chipping it away 1 year at a time, doing what you can to bring, create more opportunities and drag people with. And it all comes down to creating content, right? Sharing the journey, sharing your experience, and telling more people, like, if you like this, you could have an awesome career in this industry. Break into it, and once you get into it, you're never going to want to leave.
when I think also too, all it takes is one interaction that sparks their interest, right? It's like, I love talking about work. Sorry, I do. I love it. I love talking about work and why people should be involved in it and why it's important that people understand what's happening to our industry. There's guys that are retiring, but they still need to come into the shop because they're the only one that knows how to run that machine. What happens when that guy's dead, right? Hopefully they've automated it by then, but then again, who's taking our jobs? Automation, right? It's worrisome if we can't get people involved in it, right? So talk about it, preach about it, right? This is the things that are awesome about it, that it's fun, that you can really have a good career, right? Doing it. And if you don't mind to get your hands dirty, or playing with metal or whatever the case may be, then this is definitely the field for you if you like cool people.
Yeah, that's best said. If you like cool people, you can't find any cooler people
I
than
agree.
cooler and down to earth than in industrial, right?
Yeah.
Tech, a lot of the younger kids are like, no, tech is where the cool people are. I think the coolest people are in this industry. So now it's time to go to the comments, the questions. Bring Joni back in. Laura's going to jump on the screen. Probably throw. You're not going to jump on the screen. You want me to read them? All right. Laura says she doesn't want to jump on the screen, although she's perking up in her chair, like maybe we do want to throw her in. All right, throw up the first comment or question. And I'll ask it to Joni. So Vincent says, Connecticut, glad to be here. Vince. He says he's here. Vince was blowing up our chat. True people in manufacturing most closely are most like myself, personality wise. Yeah, probably, Vince. I don't know you, but I'm going to venture to say that that could be true. Tim Drinkwater says, what's the funniest moment you've had at a customer visit, Joni?
Well, I tend to be really blunt and forward and sometimes a little crude because I grew up in a world full of men. So I often insert my foot in my mouth. Um, I I try to clean it up, but there has been some times that I've let a few choice words slide out and then it was unexpected. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that.
So were those choice words what, like cussing?
Yeah.
Cussing at a customer? I
Yeah.
mean,
And it was really loud because there was a machine running. So I'm like screaming it. It was whatever. The guys appreciated it. They're like, high five. I was like, high five. Let's do
yeah.
this.
I mean, that's just the environment, right? It's like, and that's what I'm trying to do here at our company. Is like I've got a sign that says F average, be legendary above the studio that everybody can see in the office. Because in a manufacturing shop, like that's normal lingo. Like this is how we operate. We're just down to earth, direct. There
Yeah.
is no fluff. There is no, protection of sometimes
Yeah.
no protection of feelings. Like, sorry, dude, you got to take whatever I'm giving you. Like it's straight to the face.
Well, I found that you drop a couple of F bombs and the guys are like, my
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
right? Like they're like, we're just gonna let it flow
Yeah,
now. So the real conversation comes out
yeah,
then.
exactly. That's when they're like, okay, you're one of us. Now we can respect
Yeah,
you. Maybe that's what people should do.
for
If you
sure.
get if you're getting no respect because you're too young or a female in the industry, just cuss, and that will get everybody to feel comfortable. That should just be like the default. All right, one more comment that we have from a LinkedIn user. I've been saying this for 15 years. We had nobody following and learning from the legacy workers. It's hurting many industries. It is, and that's where, unfortunately, I feel like everything we're doing today and have been for the last 5 years is not going to be fully realized for at least 15, 20, 25 years. So
Agree.
some people are like, I'm doing all this stuff, but I'm not getting a return. It's like, dude, you have to skip this generation that's currently out there. Like you can get some of them, but
Yeah.
you're really focusing on like what I'm focusing on is like my 2-year-old, not my 15-year-old too, but that generation is still just so obsessed with tech that they're not
I
thinking about it.
could not agree with you more. I mean, it's wonderful that we're getting CNC machines in high schools, but if we're going to be honest, we've missed the boat by high
Yeah,
school,
yeah,
right? We need to get those 5, 6, 7 year olds involved when the imagination is what's driving their want and will. Where they see these things, they're like, that's the coolest robot I've ever
yeah,
seen. I want to build
right,
it, right? High schoolers are not going to get quite as excited as your 6 year
yeah.
old, right?
Yeah, I agree. And that's where we got to keep going down the course and keep sticking to the path. And in 15, 20 years, we'll start to see maybe a surge, which is good because the boomers are on their way out. And if we don't
Yeah,
train somebody, then we're going to be in a world of hurt in 10 to 20
yeah.
years. We're already hurting now, right?
But we got to create those people that want to learn,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Exactly.
They want to have to learn it, and it's not like, ugh, my grandpa's out in the garage
Yeah.
again. He's trying to talk to me about whatever it is he's doing.
All right, we got one more comment from a LinkedIn user. I don't know why it's not coming in.
Okay.
I should be John M on LinkedIn. I should be wildly successful then with the mouth I have. Hi, Joni. Yeah, that's one step, John. One step is the mouth. Then you have to back it up, and then you have to do it consistently,
True.
right? You got to have all three steps. You just can't have one. All right, we're going to go through some rapid fire questions that Laura printed
Sure.
out. Cats or dogs?
Both. I am an animal person.
Okay. Well, if you're an animal person, chickens or goats? Since you live in Michigan.
Goat?
Goat? All
I don't
right.
know.
Do you have
Goat?
any other animals besides cats and dogs?
I have a
Okay.
bird. I used to have 3, but I had to give 2 of them away because the cats were like, snack
Yeah.
time.
What kind of bird is it?
It's just a
Okay.
parakeet. I had 2 zebra finches, but they were very snackalicious for the cats, so I had to get
That's
rid
hilarious.
of them.
All right. Mountain or beach vacation?
Yeah. Mountain.
Chocolate or sour candy?
Sour candy.
Cold weather or hot weather?
Cold weather.
You like the cold weather in Michigan?
I was born and raised in Alaska.
Oh, that
Lived
is
there for 22
interesting.
years of my life.
So
Yeah.
When did you leave Alaska? When you were 22?
I left Alaska for good when I was 22.
What town in Alaska were you raised in?
I was I was born and raised in Palmer, which is 16 miles east of Wasilla, where Sarah Palin could see Russia.
Oh,
Can't really see Russia, but just
yeah.
let you know.
I mean, I shouldn't have even
So,
asked that question because I only know one city in Alaska, which is Juneau, right? And
okay.
that's it.
That's way
Okay.
down
So
there.
were you by Russia? Okay.
No. So Palmer is 50 miles north inland of Anchorage, and Anchorage is, where it comes down. Both of the arms come down here. It's
Okay.
right in the center. So, and it's on the water. So I'm just
Okay.
up.
That had to have been crazy to be raised in Alaska. I don't think I've ever met anybody raised in Alaska.
Well, I can tell you this. When I lived there, I was like,
Oh
F
yeah.
this place, man. I cannot wait to
Yeah.
get out of here. And now I think about the magical childhood that I got to have outside, not what my kids are
Right.
experiencing now, right? I mean, it's much better here in Michigan than it was in Seattle. But I will literally go outside at 6 o'clock in the morning and spend all day in the woods. And people are like, well, weren't you worried about bears? And I'm like, I ran into bears, I ran into moose, I ran into fox. Never was I
Yeah.
ever worried unless it was a mama
Yeah.
moose with a baby. They didn't care about me. I didn't care about them as long as I didn't run and they're like,
Yeah.
haha, snack time, let's go. Right? It
Right.
wasn't a problem. Right. And then I never thought
That's
of it.
crazy.
But it gave me a huge respect for nature, right? Altogether. And the people that live there. These people are hardworking, real, honest, no BS type of people. Same people you find here in
Yeah.
manufacturing. So I'm glad to
Yeah,
be
those
here.
outdoors, I think they go hand in hand. I've never met a group of manufacturing people that don't do something, fish or something outside in general. They're not
Yeah.
like the collective group of a shop workers aren't like, man, I can't wait to go to Cancun on spring break vacation. They're like, we're going to Kentucky for turkey season, then we're
Right.
going to Minnesota for fishing. Like that's just how they
Yeah.
are. Go-to pizza toppings.
All right. I hate to burst everybody's bubble, but I do like some pineapple on my pizza.
Okay, that's an
So,
argument. Laura's shaking her head. That's an argument here. So me being
but my go-to are mushrooms and sausage.
okay, I can respect that. Not that I don't like the
Yeah.
mushrooms, but being born and raised in Chicago and people are like pineapple on pizza, I'm just like, come on, what are we doing?
We can no longer be friends.
Yeah,
Don't talk to me.
exactly. Tea or coffee?
Tea. As I get older, coffee is not my friend. So
Okay. Texting or calling?
texting because I can't hear very well.
Road trip or airplane?
It works to my benefit,
Yeah,
Kyle, at home.
yeah, I bet. I bet. Road trip or airplane?
Airplane. I spent my entire life driving from Alaska to Michigan. Road trips and camping are not my jam.
And not
No.
anymore. You've done enough of them. Probably for
No.
like 4 lifetimes.
Exactly.
And then
Right.
last question, favorite scary movie since it's Halloween. What's your favorite scary movie?
Children of the Corn.
Ooh, that's
That
going
movie
old
scared the
school.
shit
Yeah.
out of me. And even to this day, I drive by cornfields. I'm like, don't get out! Don't get
That
out! Malachi's there!
yeah, that is I feel like have you ever heard of Children of the Corn, Laura? Yep.
She's probably not
You're
old
shaking
enough.
it. You're not old enough. She's not old enough. She's definitely not.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going old school. Like I feel like 60s, 70s, 80s scary movies, like that's when you get into, even though it's cheesy now looking at it technology wise, but
Yeah.
those are the
Yeah.
things that were the foundation of everything that was built off of it, right?
Agreed. And back then, the movies were, they made you actually think. It's not a jump scare. It's not crude. It's not just disgusting to be disgusting. It makes you think like, oh my God, something's back there. Right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? It's all in your mind.
Yeah, that's what creates I feel like disorders at times too in people my age. It's like they watch that movie and now they're paying the price in their 40s.
Here we all are on medication because we watched Children of the Corn and The Shining.
Yeah, exactly.
We're done.
Exactly. But it made us have thicker skin, right? A little bit tougher.
That's true. True.
All right, so that's all
And we drank out of the hose, and look, we're still here.
That's all the questions, but we do have some comments from the audience. What do you got, Laura? Throw it up there. John M says, question for both of you. Do either of you know what the disparity is between men and women in manufacturing? What's the percentage of workforce for each? I would say, actually, you go first, Joni. Ladies first.
I really don't know, but I can imagine it's probably huge,
Yeah, I would say like
right?
95% male, 5% female in
Yeah,
general. If not,
that's
maybe
what
a
I
little
would.
higher. Because I mean, if you think about it, I don't know. In manufacturing in the United States, there's got to be, I don't even know, if you include OEMs into it, you're probably talking like tens of millions of people. And I do not even know a million uh, women out there that are in the industry. So I feel like
Yeah,
it's probably 5% female.
and a lot of them are in purchasing roles.
Yeah, purchasing more in engineering now, which I think is cool, is like more
Yes,
female engineers,
yes,
um,
yeah.
which that's definitely interesting. Any last questions? Who said this?
Also, John.
John M said, "Don't eat pizza. That's a big L." So he's throwing an L up there.
I didn't say no. Not. I like homemade pizza. I'm not a
Okay.
big fan. So, because since I grew up in Alaska, my dad made everything from scratch. So now he's ruined me for so many things, and pizza's just kind of one of those things. I'm just like, ugh. Then I call my dad. Hey, Dad, what's for dinner?
Yeah, exactly. Google says
30%
what?
women, by the way.
Google says 30% women in manufacturing. No way. There's no way possible.
Well, that might be all those engineers you're talking about.
It could be. Maybe if you took like, I don't think I've ever met 30% women at any plant. I don't care how big the plant is.
Engineers, HR, you got to think. I mean, if they're still working for a manufacturing company, I guess that counts, right?
It does, but I'll say this, and it's kind of like marketing and sales and manufacturing. For every 10 salespeople, you have one to maybe a half of a marketing person. So you may have a company
Yeah,
of like 200 employees, you've got one HR person. So that's
yeah,
where I just look at it as like any shop I've been to, any people that I know in the space, I would definitely not say 30%. Google is wrong in that. All right, next comment, throw it up there, Laura. Tim says Event Horizon, that's his movie. I don't know if I'd say that that's the scariest, but definitely not jump scare scariest, but it's definitely kind of crazy scary. I guess that's my opinion. And then one last comment, Laura. That can't be an improvement. Hardly any room at only 5%. That number needs to improve significantly. Yes, it does. It does. We need to have different thoughts, personalities, experiences in the space because that comes with new ideas, outside of the box thinking. I mean, across the board.
yeah,
But we're not going to get it if we don't show people and tell people like it's a cool industry, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah. I agree.
all right. Any last closing thoughts, Joni?
My last closing thought is I really do hope that you come and walk through the Advanced Manufacturing Expo. And for all those people in this local market or even in Wisconsin and surrounding states like Ohio, and it is a show that you will get value at, whether it is connections or whether it is solutions. It's important stop on your trade show stop for the year. So come and check it out. And if you're interested in exhibiting, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm active. I'm trying to get on there every day. Some days are harder than others, but if you message me, I will respond.
All right, you guys heard it. Advanced Manufacturing Expo, first Wednesday and Thursday of August. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Talk Shop. Joni, thank you so much for joining us. Follow Joni on LinkedIn. Check out Creston Industrial Sales and put the Advanced Manufacturing Expo on your calendar for next August. Where else would you want to be the first week of August besides Michigan? There is no place to be, so you better go over there. That's it for today, and we will see you on the next one.